Very good morning. Welcome to the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha TV this Saturday morning. I am Ashwarya with you. Here are the Breakfast News headlines first. Second coronavirus death in India. 10 of the 82 confirmed cases discharged. Government notifies hand sanitizers and surgical masks as essential commodities. Air India flight to leave today to bring home Indians stranded in Italy. Prime Minister Narendra Modi calls upon SAARC nations to joint action to tackle coronavirus pandemic. SAARC nations welcome initiative. Pakistan too agrees to participate in video conference. US declares a national emergency, announces $50 billion fund for battling coronavirus epidemic. Germany releases biggest economic aid package since the Second World War. 250 die of infection in Italy in a day. WHO calls Europe the new epicenter of the pandemic. Cabinet approves a reconstruction scheme for Yes Bank. SBI to invest up to 49% of equity in Yes Bank. 4% increase in dearness allowance for central government employees to benefit over 1 crore employees and pensioners. And heavy rains and hailstorms claim 28 lives in Uttar Pradesh in 24 hours. Widespread damage to crops in several parts of UP and Punjab. Top story this morning: in the second death linked to the global pandemic COVID-19, a 68-year-old woman died in Delhi yesterday. The Health Ministry confirmed the death of the woman from West Delhi who had come in contact with her son who had contracted the virus after travelling to Switzerland and Italy last month. The woman also suffered from diabetes and hypertension. Her sample was collected on Sunday and her condition worsened a day later. The Health Ministry has so far confirmed 82 cases across the country, out of which 10 have recovered.
We now have 81 confirmed cases of COVID-19 in the country. Of these, 3 from Kerala were treated and discharged. In addition, 7 more from Safdarjung have also recovered. Of these confirmed cases, 64 cases are of Indian nationals, 16 Italian nationals, and 1 Canadian national. Contact tracing of these cases is being actively pursued. So far, this has led to identification of more than 4,000 contacts who have been put under surveillance. Death of a 76-year-old male from Karnataka is confirmed to be caused due to comorbidities, that is asthma and hypertension, and he also tested positive for COVID-19. All the precautionary measures as per protocol, such as screening and home quarantine of the contact, has been initiated by the State Health Department of Karnataka and is being closely monitored. It is reiterated that Indian nationals are strongly advised to avoid all non-essential travel abroad and refrain from travelling to countries reporting high cases and deaths as mentioned in our travel advisories. All incoming international passengers returning to India should self-monitor their health and follow the required do's and don'ts as detailed by government.
Our colleague Anu Diwan is tracking all those developments very, very closely related to coronavirus outbreak in our country. Let's cut across live to her. A very good morning, Anu. Anu, we've seen that now another death has occurred due to coronavirus in our country, and we have seen, other countries in the world like the US and Spain declaring national emergencies over the coronavirus outbreak. What measures is India taking to contain the spread of the virus in our country?
Definitely, Aishwarya. Last night it was a second death of the patient relating to coronavirus in Delhi. She was a patient of coronavirus. Her coronavirus was detected on 9th of March. Although her son had travelled to, the lady's son had travelled to Switzerland in the month of February, after which she came in contact with him and was detected coronavirus. And although there is only 2 patients have died, but out of 82, 10 patients have also recovered from coronavirus. The government is taking severe measures to break the outbreak, to break the chain of coronavirus, as the government has advised people not to make unnecessary travels to other countries affected by coronavirus, and also the state governments had come forward and shut down places like school, colleges, cinema halls, malls, and asked people to avoid as many public events as possible. The government has also declared hand sanitizers and masks as into the essential commodities. Accordingly, now the state governments have a right to ensure the prices of these commodities till 30th June. So some of these essential measures are being taken by the government, and we can also say that ICMR, the Indian Council of Medical Research, says that India is the 5th country to isolate coronavirus. That means after this, India will be able to, on the research and clinical trials, India will be able to make a drug or vaccine of this coronavirus. So these are the some steps which Indian government and state governments are taking together. And today, if we latest development is that soon after some time, a plane from Mumbai will be soon taking off to Iran to bring back the Indian nationals being stranded in Iran, in Italy, and the plane will be coming back on Sunday. So the government is making efforts to bring back their nationals from other countries to India and give them a treatment here. So these are some measures being taken by the government. And if you talk about Delhi, the Delhi government has already announced that all the public swimming pools, public places like cinema halls, public gatherings, sports events, and etc. are being banned till March 31st to control this situation. So meanwhile, the latest update, if we talk about Aishwarya, is that the 10 people suffering from coronavirus have totally recovered and are back to their homes. The government is making efforts to give a proper treatment and isolate and provide as many facilities as to the patient of coronavirus to break this chain and protect your country.
All right, Anu, thank you so much for all those updates there on the coronavirus situation in our country. Meanwhile, an Air India flight will fly to Milan today to bring about 200 to 250 Indians who are stranded in the Italian city due to the coronavirus outbreak there. The flight would take off around noon and it will land on Sunday morning at 7:45 a.m. at the Delhi airport. Earlier this week, the government suspended all visas barring a few categories like diplomatic and employment in an attempt to prevent the spread of coronavirus.
See, these students are quite dispersed. They're around many places in Italy, but I think priority is right now Milan, where our students are stranded in and around Milan. So the number that we are getting in consultation with our ambassador and the consul general in Milan is about 220 or so. So that's our priority to bring them. But subsequently, I'm sure, and we will look around if there are any other students who are left behind, and they will be advised to contact our missions, and we will aggregate that number and see what next we can do about that.
And several states across India have gone into really a war mode to contain the spread of COVID-19. States of Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Haryana, Punjab, Maharashtra, Odisha and Karnataka have ordered immediate closure of all educational institutions, gyms, swimming pools, coaching centres, cinema halls and other public places till 31st of March. The government has indicated that more steps could be taken in the next few days following a review of the situation. Meanwhile, as a precautionary measure, Kerala government has launched 2 robots to spread awareness about the virus. One robot distributes face masks, sanitizers and napkins for better cough hygiene, and the other robot screens details about the World Health Organization's campaign to contain the global pandemic. It will also clean the doors. Meanwhile, in an attempt to boost the supply and prevent hoarding, the government on Friday declared face masks and hand sanitizers as essential commodities for the next 100 days. And in related news, Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Friday proposed formulation of a joint strategy by the SAARC nations to fight the coronavirus infection. A suggestion backed by all the member states. In a tweet, the Prime Minister said that the planet is battling the COVID-19 virus and at various levels, governments and people are trying their best to combat it. He added that South Asia, which is home to a significant number of a global population, should leave no stone unturned to ensure that the people are healthy. And leaders of the other SAARC nations were quick to endorse Prime Minister Narendra Modi's proposal. Bhutan's Prime Minister Lote Tshering said in a tweet that all SAARC nations must come together in such times. Tshering called for coordination among SAARC nations as the smaller economies are hit harder due to the pandemic. Also welcoming the proposal, Sri Lankan President Gotabaya Rajapaksa said that Sri Lanka is ready to join the discussion, share its learning and best practices, as well as to learn from other SAARC members. Rajapaksa also called upon leaders to unite in solidarity during these trying times and keep our citizens safe. Nepalese Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli also welcomed the proposal and said that his government was ready to work closely with the SAARC member states to protect people from this deadly disease. And responding to the proposal, Maldivian President Ibrahim Mohamed Solih thanked Prime Minister Modi for taking this initiative on this very important endeavour. He said that COVID-19 requires a collective effort to defeat it. Solih added that Maldives will fully support such a regional effort. Meanwhile, in some positive news, even as the virus spreads across the world, a group of 112 evacuees taken from Wuhan, China and housed at ITBP quarantine facility in New Delhi has started dispersing after being found negative of the coronavirus. 2 tests, first on day 1 and second on day 14 of the quarantine, were conducted, in which all the samples have been found negative. Minister of State for Home, Nityanand Rai, and Director General of ITBP, SS Deswal, met the inmates at the facility. This was the second batch to have positively cleared the quarantine at the ITBP Centre since the global outbreak of the virus.
मैं आईटीबीपी को इसके लिए आभार व्यक्त करना चाहूँगा कि उन्होंने कोरोना वायरस से संदिग्ध लोगों की जांच क्वारंटाइन पीरियड में यहाँ लाए गए वैसे लोगों को अच्छी सेवा, अच्छा माहौल, परिवार जैसा माहौल और वह समय बहुत एक अच्छे वातावरण में उस पीरियड को गुजार सके.
Cases in most of the countries, but our country's efforts, government efforts, whether it is central government or state governments and all agencies coming together and working as a team, they have facilitated our own citizens around the globe. The government is willing and making efforts to evacuate our own citizens from all parts of the globe, from all countries.
And the Board of Control for Cricket in India, or the BCCI, has decided to postpone the Indian Premier League 2020 till 15th of April in the wake of a COVID-19 pandemic. The IPL has been pushed to 15th of April from its scheduled 29th of March start. Honorary Secretary of BCCI, Jay Shah, in a statement said that the BCCI is concerned and sensitive about all its stakeholders and public health in general, and it is taking all necessary steps to ensure that the virus does not spread. The decision comes after India suspended incoming visas for all countries till 15th of April. The Indian Open badminton tournament was also suspended at least till 12th of April after the sports world governing body decided to halt all events from 16th of March due to the coronavirus pandemic. And the deadly coronavirus, which originated in the Chinese city of Wuhan in December last year, has infected more than 134,000 people globally. Considering the global coronavirus situation, US President Donald Trump announced a national state of emergency, freeing up $50 billion in federal funds for the battle against the fast-spreading pandemic. He called on all the US states to set up emergency operation centers and said that the government was accelerating testing facilities. Novel coronavirus has claimed 41 lives in the United States. The deadly virus, which has killed over 5,000 people globally, has spread to 46 of the 50 US states, with nearly 2,000 cases being reported from across the country. Meanwhile, Donald Trump has said that he will most likely be tested for the coronavirus, stressing that he had displayed no symptoms. This after he met a Brazilian official last weekend who was found to be positive for the virus later. Donald Trump also announced that major cruise lines would suspend trips from the US ports for 30 days amid the coronavirus pandemic that has hit several vessels. Also, the Indian embassy in the US asked the large Indian students community there to avoid all non-essential domestic and international travel. More than 100 colleges and universities, including the Massachusetts Institute of Technology and the Harvard University, have also suspended in-person teaching and announced the shift to online classes. And in France, another 18 people have died from the coronavirus over the last 24 hours, bringing the total deaths from the virus in that country to 79. Another 154 people were still in a serious condition, while the total number of people infected with the virus jumped to 3,661. And Spain's government is to declare a state of alert over the rapid spread of the deadly coronavirus after infections soared over 4,200 with 120 dead. A cabinet meeting is set to declare a state of alert across the country for a period of 15 days. And Italy on Friday recorded its highest one-day death toll yet from cases of the new coronavirus. There were 250 deaths recorded over the past 24 hours, taking the total to 1,266, with 17,660 infections overall, a rise of 2,547 since Thursday evening. And Saudi Arabia has extended its travel ban to include the European Union and 12 other nations, including India, as the number of coronavirus in the kingdom jumped to 62. There are 11 foreign nationals among the people who have contracted the virus. And the German government on Friday unleashed the biggest economic aid package in the country's post-war history, offering companies unlimited credit to keep them afloat during the coronavirus crisis. And the World Health Organization said on Friday that Europe was now the epicenter for the global coronavirus pandemic and warned it was impossible to know when the outbreak would peak.
The duration of home quarantine period is 14 days. During this period, a home quarantine person should stay in a well-ventilated single room, preferably with a separate toilet. The person must maintain a distance of at least 1 meter from other family members. The person needs to stay away from elderly people, pregnant women and children. Must have restricted movement within the house and must not attend any social or religious gathering under any circumstances. A home quarantine person should wash hands often, thoroughly with soap and water or with alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Avoid sharing household items, for example, dishes, drinking glasses, cups, eating utensils, towels, bedding or other items. Wear a surgical disposable mask at all times. However, if symptoms like cough, fever, difficulty in breathing appear, the person should immediately inform the nearest healthcare center or call 011-239-78046. Family members of the home quarantined person should avoid shaking the soiled linen or direct contact with skin. Use disposable gloves while cleaning the surfaces or handling soiled linen. Wash hands after removing gloves. Must not allow visitors to meet the person in quarantine. In case the person being quarantined becomes symptomatic, all his close contacts will be home quarantined for 14 days or till the report of such case turns out negative. The environment around the home quarantined person must be regularly sanitized as well. This means cleaning and disinfecting frequently touched surfaces in the quarantined person's room. Cleaning and disinfecting toilet surfaces daily. Cleaning clothes and other linen used by the person separately.
So these were the guidelines for home quarantine in case you or somebody else you know are have come in contact with a person who has been infected with coronavirus epidemic. And these were all the news related to coronavirus outbreak. Let us take a short break here. We'll be back with more news on the other side. Stay tuned.
A walkthrough into the narrative of Indian heritage, an enlightening experience of our culture, an interactive museum with an array of parliamentary records. Come and spend some time in the Parliament Museum. Story of Indian democratic heritage.
Welcome back after the break. Rajya Sabha Deputy Chairman Harivansh, NCP Chief Sharad Pawar, BJP's newest recruit Jyotiraditya Scindia and Congress leader Digvijay Singh are among those in the fray for elections to 55 Rajya Sabha seats to be held on 26th of March. Friday was the last date of filing nominations for the biennial polls. BJP leader Jyotiraditya Scindia filed his nomination papers in Bhopal for the 26th of March polls. All three candidates of the ruling JDU-BJP combined in Bihar, including Rajya Sabha Deputy Chairman Harivansh, filed their nominations in Patna. Harivansh and sitting MP Ramnath Thakur filed their papers as JDU candidates. BJP's Vivek Thakur also submitted his nomination papers. And Congress leader Deepinder Singh Hooda also filed his nomination for Rajya Sabha seat in Chandigarh. Hooda had been a three-time MP from Rohtak. In 2014, the Congress could manage to retain only the Rohtak seat, losing all other 9 Lok Sabha seats from Haryana. The government has notified a reconstruction scheme for Yes Bank and has appointed the current administrator Prashant Kumar as the managing director and the CEO of the newly reconstructed board. The Yes Bank Reconstruction Scheme 2020 shall come into force on 13th of March. The notification stated that the moratorium on Yes Bank will be lifted at 6 p.m. on 18th of March. The notification comes a day after Union Cabinet approved the reconstruction scheme under which State Bank of India will acquire 49% of stake in the bank. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said that authorized capital of the lender has been raised from 1,100 crore rupees to 6,200 crore rupees to accommodate immediate and subsequent raising of capital requirements. Sitharaman said that the scheme has been approved with the objective of protecting the interests of the depositors and providing stability to Yes Bank.
Scheme of reconstruction came to the government, which was considered by the cabinet today. The key features of what actually is a part of this reconstruction plan will of course be available for all of you all in detail once the notification happens, which will happen as soon as possible. But I'm just highlighting some of the points which will be of interest. State Bank of India will invest up to 49% of the equity. Other investors are also being invited, and quite a lot of engagement by the RBI is happening to bring in other investors also. There will be a 3-year lock-in period for SBI for up to only 26% of the 49% that they are investing. And for the rest of the investors, it will be lock-in for 3 years of 75% of their investment. So the authorized capital itself has been raised from 1,100 crores to 6,200 crores so that we can accommodate immediate and also subsequent raising of capital requirements.
And in another decision, the Union Cabinet approved a 4% hike in dearness allowance for the central government employees. Under the proposal, 48 lakh central government employees and 65 lakh pensioners will be benefited. It will be effective from 1st of January this year. With this, the DA has been increased from 17% to 21%. Briefing the media, Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar said that the government will incur 14,595 crore additional expense due to the hike.
48 लाख केंद्रीय कर्मचारियों को 4% महंगाई भत्ता 1 जनवरी से बढ़ाने का एक बड़ा फैसला हुआ है। 1,13,00,000 फैमिलीज को इसका फायदा होता है।
The Union Cabinet also approved a hike in minimum supportive price of copra for the 2020 season. The MSP for fair average quality of milling copra has been increased to 9,960 rupees per quintal from 9,521 rupees per quintal.
कोपरा जो खासकर साउथ इंडिया में तमिलनाडु, केरला, कर्नाटका और आंध्र प्रदेश इसमें कोपरा तैयार होता है, उसके एमएसपी में बढ़ोतरी की है। मिलिंग दर्जे का जो कोपरा होता है मिलिंग का वो 9521 था, 9,521 रुपए था पिछले साल, अब बढ़ के 439 रुपए बढ़ोतरी हुई और 9,960 हो गया।
In Uttar Pradesh, a total of 28 people, including women and children, were killed in various rain-related incidents in the last 24 hours. The state has been witnessing rain and thunderstorms since Thursday. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has directed the concerned officials to make proper assessment of the losses due to hailstorm, thunderstorm and lightning on Thursday and immediately provide a compensation to the affected persons. The Chief Minister has directed the concerned district magistrates to provide a compensation of 4 lakh rupees each to the kin of those killed in rain-related incidents.
पिछले बारिश हुई थी, उस बार भी गेहूं गिर गया था, लेकिन उस बार उम्मीद थी कि हम लोग को कुछ फसल हो जाएगी, लेकिन कल रात से जब बारिश हो रही थी, रात में ओले पड़ के साले देख रहे हैं, सारे फसलें एकदम गिर गई हैं, पूरी तरह से लौट गई। हम लोगों का समझ में नहीं आ रहा है अब क्या होगा।
International news now. 45 years after he founded Microsoft, Bill Gates has stepped down from the board of directors to devote more time to philanthropy. He said he wants to focus on global health and development, education and tackling climate change, and will dedicate more of his time to his charity, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. The 64-year-old stopped being involved in day-to-day operations at the firm more than a decade ago. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella said that Microsoft will continue to benefit from Gates' technical passion and advice in his continuing role as a technical advisor. With an estimated net worth of over $100 billion, Gates is the second richest person in the world after Amazon's Jeff Bezos. He co-founded Microsoft in 1975 with Paul Allen. Gates left his CEO position in the year 2000, handing the company reins to Steve Ballmer to devote more time to his charitable foundation. He gave up the role of chairman at the same time. Satya Nadella became Microsoft's third CEO in 2014. And with that, we wrap up this edition of Breakfast News. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day ahead.